copy. I've enjoyed it. What do we have here? Oh, another Ms. Marvel #1. This is a decent copy. I would say it's probably, I don't know, I would think it's at least an 8.0. Certainly not an expert. I do this for hobby, not for business. But I own several thousand comics, and I've purchased many that have been graded and sent many in to be graded. So I got a little wear. I'm going to scroll back up to the top in the upper left corner there. I think you can see that right up here. But otherwise, a really nice copy. I'm trying to remember when I picked this up. I want to say it was about 4 years ago. I discovered Ms. Marvel, Spider-Woman, and She-Hulk, and I just thought the way everything's going with the movies and with our society, we're probably going to see a lot more depictions of strong female characters. And with Ms. Marvel coming out in a handful of months, looks like that was a fairly decent decision. Okay, yet again another Ms. Marvel #1 ungraded. You can see right up here, it's, I call it a page turnover. There's a little bit of deterioration in the page. It looks like it maybe someone likely had this in bag and board before I got it, and maybe the tape caught the top there and did a little damage. And there's also some, I don't know if you call it spider baiting or what you want to call it, right up here. Otherwise, it's a pretty nice book. I look at the bottom here, and this is just a piece of tape on the cover. That's not actually on the comic itself. Okay, you know, a little bit in the bottom right-hand corner, a little bit of a bend, but this is a pretty nice copy. You know, it's not going to get the 9.6s or the 9.8s, but I would think it's probably at least an 8, maybe a 7.5. I don't know how much they take off for that up there, but I think I have a few more Ms. Marvel #1 raw copies. Don't have those out though. So here we have Marvel Spotlight 32, first appearance of Spider-Woman. Overall, a pretty nice copy. I'm going to point out a few defects that I see. Upper left-hand corner, just a little bit of a, you call it a turnover, you know, a scuff mark right up there. You can see that. And I'm doing this from my phone, guys, so the video quality isn't great. I apologize. This is my first time ever doing a video, so leave some comments, some suggestions. I hope that the camera moving doesn't give you guys a nausea. You can see a little bit of deterioration right up here in the corner. Maybe that's a bend. I'm not sure what you call it. And down at the bottom, just going to move down there. You can see, it looks like somebody had it bent a little bit, and then a little bit of a scuff in the bottom left-hand corner. But better than a reader copy, I would say. I would say that's all day long a 7.0 or higher. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you Spider-Woman #1. And I bought a bunch of these, so I'm just going to show you some of the ones I purchased that are raw. I think there's 4 in here, and they're all, yeah, let me take them out just real quick here. I've never actually taken them out since I purchased them, so I don't really know if some are better than others. This copy is actually pretty decent. It's not going to come back a 9.8, but I don't see any real problems. Maybe across the top just a little bit, but otherwise I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I'll flip through it, but no spine deterioration. Well, I guess let's see if you can see my finger. Right there, there's a little bit of a nick or an indentation. It's not too bad though. This copy's a little bit rougher. Let me see here. Look in the bottom left-hand corner. I don't know if you guys can see this. Maybe give you a better angle. A little bit of a rollover maybe, but and a little bit of a mark. I'm really bad at this camera. Right here where it looks like it was maybe bent a little bit, but again, a nice copy, a good display copy. And I think, yeah, this next one has this. Actually, then there's 2 more. They all have the same. The last 3 have the same issue, where I think from being in the bag and board and in a box, this got bent a little bit. I've never pressed or had books clean, but this is probably, not that these are very high-end books, right? But let's say they went up in value, they do a Spider-Woman standalone. Obviously, Marvel Spotlight 32 would go up faster, but if this one went up and became a fairly valuable book, graded 9.6, 9.8, these would probably benefit from a pressing. Here we have another Spider-Woman #1. Overall, as I pan, it's actually a pretty nice copy. I haven't looked at these in years, so I see a little mark. Let's see if you can see where my finger is here. If you guys can see that little bit of a, I don't know what's called, a stress mark, but just a little bit of an imperfection. And at the bottom, the wrap, you can see where there's a color break here. It looks like maybe the binding or the spine it wasn't a perfect, didn't come from the factory perfectly, but it's a pretty nice copy. And we have one more, I'll call Raw Spider-Woman #1. Also presents fairly well. Got a little bit of scuffing at the top there, but overall I'd call it a very nice copy. I'm not going to send these in for grading because even a 9.6 only goes for around $100. But these are, probably $30, $40 books raw, $20, I don't know. But good copies. If I had friends that just got into comic book collecting, I would probably give them to them just to help further the hobby. Now, a character that I really like in the Marvel Universe is the Incredible Hulk. And maybe as a derivative of that, I really like She-Hulk, Savage She-Hulk. And this is a newsstand copy. You can see the UPC code down here. It's actually in pretty nice condition. I have a few CGC slab books that I'll show probably in an upcoming video. When I compare this copy, and I'm trying to find something wrong with it. I mean, maybe in the upper left-hand corner, if you guys can see just a little bit of not a pull away. I'm not even sure what you call that. I do this for hobby, so if there's terminology I don't know, guys, help educate me. I appreciate it. And then, right where my finger is, I don't know if you guys can see this, in the police person's outfit right there, a little bit of a nick. So those two aren't going to bring it down too much. I would say it's still at least a 9.2 all day long. So those are first appearance and issue ones. And then I've got a few early in run Ms. Marvels. We have Ms. Marvel #2. Overall, a pretty decent copy. You can see a little bit of a wrinkle, if you will, in the upper left-hand corner. I'm looking at this. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Almost like a little wrinkle here, or maybe where it was bent. Let's see if I can get a better view. I don't think that's part of the book. I don't think that's supposed to be there. I think that's a wrinkle right in here. But not bad at all. I mean, that might take off a half a grade. Knock it down. Without that, I would say this is probably, I don't know, a 9.2. With that, probably an 8.5. Rough estimate. If you guys hear a little bit of noise, I apologize. It's my office chair. Sometimes it frightens me. It's so loud. So apologize for the background noise again, guys. Hopefully this is the only video I apologize to you guys. Leave feedback here. I watch a lot of comic book videos. I really have enjoyed Silver Age Dave's videos. Sorry to see that he's going through some health issues and taking a break from posting, but he probably won't watch this, but if anyone watches this knows Silver Age Dave, please keep him in your prayers and let him know that he's done a lot for the hobby. Really appreciate his sharing of his knowledge and his passion for the hobby. Okay, Ms. Marvel #13. Overall, a pretty nice copy. I'm going to point out a couple of defects that I see. I see this a little bit of a, it's not a tear, it's almost just a little bit of the paper coming apart there. Not too bad though. Still displays are really nice. And let's see, do I see something in the bottom right corner? Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of a bend. If you guys can see this stress mark, if you will. Probably about a, I don't know, quarter inch, eighth of an inch from the bottom. It's about an inch long. But again, I'm not looking to sell it. I'm not going to get it great. Oh, you know what? In the upper right corner, there's some bending. And there's some weird coloring going on across the top. It's the only copy I have, a number 13, so I don't know if that's normal, but I suspect it's not. It looks like maybe, I can't tell if that's pen mark right there. I imagine it is. So, you know, this is for a non-graded copy that I'm not going to sell. I think it's a pretty nice copy. I really like the artwork, which one thing I will say, a lot of folks who collect comic books will say, you've got to collect for the story. Well, I say you collect for whatever reason you want to. I read most of the books I buy. I try to buy one really high-grade copy at least, and then at least one reader copy. And I've read most of the books. I don't have too many books that I don't have an unslabbed copy that I'm willing to read. So I say collect for whatever reason you want to collect. If anyone tells you that, oh, you shouldn't buy a book just because you like the cover art, well, that's silly. That's like saying you shouldn't buy a car just because you think it's, you know, good looking and performs well, and you don't know much about the engine and you don't read the instruction manual. Well, maybe not quite the same thing, but collect for whatever reason motivates you. Don't worry about what other people think. That's what I say. Go against the grain a little bit. That's my little rant for the day. A little more Ms. Marvel. Showing more of her books just because of the movie coming up. Ms. Marvel number 20. Pretty cool. It's a pretty decent copy. I mean, there's some obvious wear, and it looks like the cover's pulled back just a hair. Up here you can see a little bit of a bend down in the bottom right corner. Yeah, the spine is decent. Definitely, I would say mid-grade. Not going to send it into CGC, but it's a nice copy. I'm happy to have it. Not too many more, guys, that I'm going to show you tonight. Ms. Marvel number 11. I think that's a pretty neat cover. Decent mid-grade book in terms of condition. Not a very hot issue for Ms. Marvel, but I like it. So that's all I really care about. How many more Ms. Marvels do we have? Maybe, yeah, I think there's only 3 more that I'm going to show. I think I already showed 13. I have 2 copies of this, so this one's maybe a little rougher. A little bit of a, maybe I'll take that out of the bag. I don't know. Maybe I'll just give this to a kid I know that's getting into comics. That might be what I do. Let's see, what else do we have here? Now this is a pretty cool cover. I haven't actually read this one yet. I've had it for a while. I just got behind in my reading. I've been reading more work-related certification books and nonfiction books. So haven't had as much time to read comic books that are out of the core. I'm a big-time Spider-Man fan, like The Incredible Hulk. There's a few others. Fantastic Four I really like as well. So while I appreciate Ms. Marvel, you know, especially Carol Danvers, not the biggest fan. And admittedly, I bought some of these for the cover art, and I bought some of the higher grade ones, which I'm not showing in this video, purely for speculation, with the idea that they would come out, that Marvel, I guess Disney, I believe Disney bought Marvel years ago, would come out with some more female focused movies, and they have. And the goal was to either sell some of those higher graded books, to buy other things that I want, maybe to buy a very low grade Amazing Fantasy 15 or Spider-Man 1, or not a very, one book that's not super high end that I really like because I like Hawkeye is it Tales of Suspense 57? I think it's Tales of Suspense. I know it's 57. I think it's Tales of Suspense. I'm looking for a copy of that. And I know they don't go for a ton of money.